Welcome to my project. I am the director, the producer, Nick McMurray, for 1776, and this is my presentation. The style of this production is using a lot of realism, basically, realistic style. This musical, while still being a musical, is still a representation of a real time period in history. The actors are playing actual people and giving representations of these people as historically accurate as possible. We will use period accurate pieces as well as in some of the songs, especially the letters between Abigail and her husband. They John Adams, there's actual dialogue that was taken from real letters that they wrote to each other. Um, we wanted to create an engaging musical while still staying true to the period. Now, because our musical is not inappropriate in any way, I think that it's a great family musical. It doesn't touch on such lofty ideas that are uh, too complex for children to grasp. Obviously, they'll love the singing, and everyone can even learn something from this. So it's kind of an educational experience. Anyone who's interested in history will love this because of the, again, mostly accurate representation of these people and real events. And then obviously the elderly, because as you can see what I wrote, you gotta fill seats during the week. And old people love to go see plays, and they got a lot of free time, and they're definitely gonna love it too. So that's mainly for the financial aspect of it. Now for really what is the most important part, because we cannot have the play without the money. For funding, I did a lot of research actually to figure out how small theater groups or people with a small budget who want to create something. I did a lot of research into how they're able to make it happen, and the biggest part of that is through grants. There's actually a ridiculous amount of grants in the entire world um, to help people put on a production. The National Endowment for the Arts here in America, one source is another really big one, but many people pitch their ideas through these grants and they get money. It's pretty cool. Also, a bank loan. Um, Hit up all my rich friends, and then crowdfunding sources like online. Now, advertising. I mean, it depends on how much money we have, really, what we can do. I mean, we could do television advertising if we had enough money, or radio, or anything like that. But the one thing that I thought would be the most creative way to advertise would be to give flyers and coupons to like every old folks' home and school that I could possibly get them to, and give, like, 15% off senior discount. And like if you bring your school ID, or bring your kid, you get like 10% off. And that would probably get a lot of people to come out and see it. There's not a whole lot about this play or musical that I really want to change. I think it's really great in the original form that it's in. It was done brilliantly the first time. However, there are obviously some things I would like to do to make my own. First off, this play was originally premiered on Broadway in 1969. I don't know if humor has changed that much, but the humor in it is not that funny. It's pretty corny. I would try and I don't know, bring on someone who is talented with comedic script writing, just to try and fix the jokes. Or I know there's a way to do it. Also, it's really long script. Um, I would I would like to knock off maybe 15 minutes from the play somehow, maybe by shortening certain monologues, whatever I can do to take out a minute here, a minute there. It's a very long play. It's almost hard to sit through the whole thing. However, other than that, it's very good, and I don't see that I would want to change much. As a producer, my job mainly entails everything that really all the financial stuff, raising the money, securing rights to a script, hiring everyone, um, figuring out, if we need to rent the space or do we own the space, just essentially supervising what is happening without having any real direct role in how the movie really turns out, or excuse me, how the musical really turns out. Now, as a director, I have an absolute I'm absolutely one of the most important parts in how it actually, the actual painting that is created in the end. And, being the director, that includes choosing the script, figuring out the spine of the play, choosing the style in which we will, you know, like with realism, like I said earlier, and then thinking big picture. So really, ultimately, I have to figure out what is this going to look like in the end? What do we want the audience to see? What are we going to try and portray? And how can I paint that picture?